Irish don't do anything by half, so it shouldn't be surprising that we have 3 patron saints, when most countries only have 1. But then didn't St Patrick teach us all about the love of the Trinity, and maybe that's why we've got 3. So as you all know, when it comes to Irish saints, St Patrick from the counties Antrim and Down is still the main man when it comes to patron saints. But did you know we also have St Columcille from Donegal, and for being great ones for equality, even before it became fashionable, we have St Bridget from County Louth. There's kind of a northern thing going on in here, don't you think? Anyway, back to St Bridget. As it is her day, we are celebrating after all. Bridget was born near Dundalk in County Louth in 450 AD. She was the daughter of an Irish chieftain in Leinster and a Portuguese Christian mother who was brought to Ireland by Irish pirates just like St Patrick was, and indeed it might have been the same crew. Her father named her after the most powerful goddess of the pagan religion, the goddess of fire. He kept her and her mother almost as slaves, not much changed, tending to his sheep and goats. Bridget was extraordinarily beautiful, and her father had plans to marry her off, but Bridget's heart was set on serving God. She prayed that God would take away her beauty, to ward off any suitors, and continued to show kindness and whatever charity she could to the poor and those in need. When she gave away her father's encrusted sword, belonging to her father, he was so enraged he wanted nothing more to do with her and allowed her to enter a convent. She was so filled with God's love that her beauty was not only restored, she appeared to be even more beautiful than before. News of Bridget's good work spread, and soon many young girls from all over the country joined her at the convent. Bridget went on to establish many convents all over Ireland, with her most famous one being in Kildare. Being a woman of equality herself, Bridget founded in Kildare a double monastery for nuns and monks. That was a good move, girl. The abbey in Kildare became one of the most prestigious in Ireland and was famous throughout Christian Europe. Legend has it that she asked the King of Leinster for land to build a convent, telling him that the place where she stood next to a forest, which would give her firewood, and a lake for water, and the fertile land, but he laughed at her and refused to give her any land. Bridget prayed to God to soften the king's heart. She then smiled at him and asked, "Will you give me as much land as my cloak will cover?" The king thought that she was joking, and as her cloak was so small, he agreed. Bridget then spread her cloak on the ground and asked her 4 friends to hold a corner of the cloak and walk in opposite directions. The 4 friends walked north, south, east, and west. The cloak immediately grew and began to cover many acres of land. The king was astonished, realizing that she had been blessed by God, fell on his knees before her, promising her money, food, and supplies. Soon afterwards, he himself converted to Christianity and started to help the poor. The miracle of the cloak was the first of many miracles that Bridget worked for the people of Ireland. She is known for the healing of animals, particularly sheep, perhaps due to her tending to her father's flock, and also for preventing fire, somewhat ironic seeing as her father called her after the goddess of fire. Folk to this very day make replicas of the reed cross that St Bridget made to keep their home safe from fire. This originates from the following encounter in Bridget's own life. When a pagan chieftain in Kildare was dying, Christians working within his household sent for Bridget to talk to him about Christ. When she arrived, he was raving. As it was impossible for her to have a conversation with him in such a state, hopes for his conversion seemed doubtful. Instead, Bridget sat down at his bedside and began consoling him. As for the custom of the day, the dirt floor was strewn with rushes, both for warmth and cleanliness. Bridget stooped down and started to weave them into a cross, and as she talked, his delirium eased, and he questioned her with growing interest as to what she was doing. Through her weaving, he converted and was baptized at the point of death. Since then, the cross of rushes has been venerated in Ireland. Bridget died at the age of 75 and was buried in a tomb in front of the high altar of her abbey in Kildare. After some time, her remains were exhumed and transferred to the town of Downpatrick in County Down to rest alongside St Patrick, Ireland's other two saints, St Patrick and St Columcille. Her skull was taken to Lisbon in Portugal, the land of her mother's birth, by two Irish noblemen and remains there till this day. Bridget is also known in Ireland as Mura na Gael, Mary of the Gale, which means Our Lady of the Irish. Her feast day is the 1st of February, which is today, and it's the first day of spring in Ireland. Tomorrow. So, I'm glad, I just wanted to see if you're all listening. Right, her feast day is the 1st of February, as more people than Margaret know, which is the first day of spring in Ireland. When into the darkness of winter comes the light of spring and the light of God. I hope you enjoyed the story of Bridget. And for those who can recall, on the eve of St Bridget's Day, making St Bridget's crosses or dolls, which were known as biddies, out of the reeds with your mothers, I hope it brought back fond memories for you. I know we have a couple of Bridgets in the room, and we probably have some more Mary Bridgets. To all of you, I again wish you Banatina Feel Agreed. Happy St Bridget's Day to you all. Thank you.